$637 billion. Since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, billionaires have amassed an additional $637 billion US. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos have seen their fortunes increase by $100 billion, $54 billion, and $48 billion respectively. At the same time, unemployment was spiking to levels unheard of since the Great Depression. Figures from Bloomberg approximated 37 million people out of work in the United States and 3 million people in Canada during the height of the pandemic-related lockdowns. To provide scale, at Bezos' current net worth of $186 billion US, if he earned $10,000 a day, it would take him 51,095 years to replicate the same fortune.
What?
According to the Credit Suisse Global Wealth Report, the world's richest 1%, those with more than 1 million, own 44% of the world's wealth. Their data also shows that adults with less than 10,000 in wealth make up 56.6% of the world's population, but hold less than 2% of global wealth. The breathtaking accumulation of wealth held by a small fraction of the population is significantly increasing the pressure to subject the rich and their heirs to taxation. According to the World Economic Forum, the US currently has the largest levels of wealth inequality, the second highest level of income inequality, and one of the lowest levels of intergenerational mobility. This often causes individuals to question whether or not billionaires are good people, and most times people conclude they are not. The question of billionaires is less about being a good or bad individual and more about the immorality of a system and economy that not only allows abuse of everyday people, but financially rewards the powerful who profit from inflated medicinal prices, incarceration, war, exploited labor, and even unsustainable farming, all while simultaneously hoarding unthinkable levels of wealth by denying the basic aforementioned dignities of life.
And I'll be honest, if you're poor, stop being poor. Get a GED, have a job for over a year.
Right. So if you're poor, just stop being poor.
Individuals normally counteract my argument by mentioning the economic benefits billionaires provide to society, such as the creation of jobs, financial freedom through stock appreciation, and charitable investments billionaires engage in. These are fair points, however, the negative consequences of wealth concentration far outweigh the positives. Billionaires typically have investments in systems that rely on exploitative models, inflated medicine prices, lobbying for low taxes, exploitation in wages, all components which prevent society from having universal health care, accessible education, medicinal services, and a high-quality standard of life. These injustices are a good representation of an immoral and, ultimately, suboptimal system. At some point, we cannot allow these massive personal fortunes to be just that, personal.
What I found in my pocket, look! A year's salary right here!
This level of wealth belongs to society and can be coined system money. $1 billion is systems money because it is a scale that is unfathomable. It doesn't matter how good a person is. That concentration of wealth and inequality is a social ill. Billionaires are a symptom of a society that does not afford people basic elements of dignity. Climate change, lack of health care, underpaying jobs, housing crises, and racial injustice are all connected. The concentration of wealth comes at a cost, and that cost is a destabilizing society. According to MIT's economics department, asset concentration decreases total factor productivity. Essentially, resources are used more effectively and efficiently by the masses as opposed to being concentrated. Distribution of wealth allows for adequate checks and balances of power, allows for increased diversity of thought, investment, and innovation. When asked about the recent wealth inequality, both globally and in the United States, billionaire and chairman of world-renowned hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, Ray Dalio said, "Governments created the inequality crisis, and they must act now to end it. They must ensure corporations and wealthy individuals pay their fair share of tax and increase investment in public services and infrastructure. Governments must work to build economies that work for everyone, not just a fortunate few. We're at a juncture. We can do it together or we will do it in conflict. We can revisit the billionaire question when everyone has healthcare, climate change is addressed, and people have dignified standards of living."